just a word of warning that if you are dieting and you want to congratulate yourself, don't congratulate yourself with a donut.
Ever thought you're sometimes going through the motions? Gary and I have both been there, and that's why we created the East-West Coaching Podcast.
Welcome to Anna and Gary's East-West Coaching.
I'm Anna, and joining me is Gary. We are here to chat about life, love, and everything in between. Whether you're feeling stuck, frustrated, or just looking for a little more spark in your life, we got you covered. Let's go.
Okay, so procrastination is, for me, it's about putting off something that we feel that we should be doing, or even that we want to do. So the student who puts off doing homework until the very last moment, they've had all weekend to do the homework, and then at 12 midnight, they decide that they're going to get down to doing it. It could be not being able to decide what to talk about on a podcast. There are so many possibilities, and you're weighing up the options, and maybe this one, what about this one? And you just don't make a decision. Or what else could be procrastinating? Whether to leave, we've got a decent job, and a new one has come up, but do we take it? Do we apply for another job or not apply for another job? And we don't necessarily go and watch television, or we've got a pile of work to do, and it's there on the desk, and then the next day it gets higher, and the next day it gets higher, and we look at it and we think, I need to be doing that, and we sigh and we go and cut the grass in the garden.
So, can I ask you a question? Do you think there are differences between procrastination and self-sabotage, or the same thing?
So let me spin the tables on you. When you talk about self-sabotage, what do you understand by that?
Yeah, that's very clever, isn't it? I don't know. That's why I'm asking you, because some of the things that you said, apart, I don't know, maybe apart from the student, because there is more about deadlines, so there could be procrastination there. Self-sabotage is usually more or less it's the same thing, because you know that you can do something maybe for your success or your progress, but you don't do it. Might be a fear behind it or some resistance. So yeah, I suppose they're similar, but what do people mean when they say procrastination or self-sabotage? Is it the same thing or not, in your opinion?
I think procrastination is an aspect of self-sabotage. Absolutely. But I think probably self-sabotage is a bigger topic. So I think procrastination may come under that as a subheading, perhaps. So I'm just thinking about ways we self-sabotage. So I think we can self-sabotage in a number of ways, can't we? So we give a really bad interview. So we may not interview properly for a job that we say that we want. That's not procrastination. That's so we may not have prepared properly for something. So I think that's a sense of self-sabotage. What else would you say is self-sabotage?
It seems like a bigger issue than procrastination, which they might be connected, obviously. It sounds more like there is something about what you believe about yourself that makes you self-sabotage. So it's something that you feel inside, some insecurities or some concept of yourself or identity. So it feels more of a frozen state, right? Where you have a block.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying the self-sabotage is a block?
I think it could be. I think for me it was. So
Oh, for you it was.
for me, yeah.
Oh, can you tell me a bit about that?
Tell you a bit about that. So let me think. A few months ago, you know, as coaches or like business owners, there's certain things we need to do. And for me, it was very difficult to do some of those things. So I would really feel this. I can say that I was frozen. I could feel it in my body as soon as I thought of this thing, task, whatever that I needed to do. I would just feel blocked. I just couldn't move. I couldn't even think about it, that I would feel this stuff in my body. It was like, no, 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 I can't move. I can't. It's I don't know, too scary, or I'm I am not good enough. I'm not. I felt inadequate, or I don't know, not competent enough, or whatever. And it was like, no. I mean, obviously, I know what I should be doing, or what it would be good to do right now, but I just can't bring myself to do it. Um, because my body would just block me. It's like, no, 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 don't go there, don't go there. It's too scary, it's too dangerous. It felt like a danger to my
Mm.
body.
So it sounds like there you've got like a physical reaction of your body, which physically stops you from doing it. You talk being frozen, uh, and also some negative self-talk.
Yeah.
And I think negative self-talk is another way that we self-sabotage. We tell ourselves we can't do something, or we're not good enough, or we'll never be able to. And so that's
Mm.
something to do with I think, our self-esteem, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think the other side of that, again, to do with self-sabotaging, is perfectionism. So I I can't allow this to be. I can't allow, for example, a lesson to go ahead unless it's a perfect lesson. I can't send off the email unless it's absolutely perfect. I can't hand in an essay unless I know the essay is perfect. But of course, nothing is ever perfect, and therefore we delay and delay and delay. And maybe sometimes we never do it. I think that's another sense of self-sabotaging.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I also have another example. One of my clients. I mean, she was really expert in her field. At the same time, she had this idea of, um, improving, doing certain things, growing. But she kept these ideas and these dreams, let's say, in her head for 10 years before, like, she came to me and then started moving, because she was sabotaging herself, because she didn't believe, she was that much of an expert. She didn't believe in other aspects, of herself. And there was, yeah, resistance. So we explored that resistance, and that's a whole other subject, which I really love. And it's actually the the process that really helped me to get through my self-sabotage. So yeah, I love doing that with clients. I
Okay.
found it, yeah, really helpful.
Other ways that people self-sabotage is they take on too much. They just say yes all the time to everything and then never do anything properly. Or never do anything because, again, they just become overburdened. Uh, and then I think we self-sabotage with relationships. You know, we push people away when we don't want to with our behaviors. Uh, we may repeat unhealthy relationship dynamics. And you hear about people who keep on marrying the same type of person and ending up with the same results.
Mm-hmm.
My word, how unlucky are they? Or it could be that without realizing it, they seek out those people and just repeat the behaviors because they haven't been able to see what they're doing.
Yeah, but it's interesting because everything is interconnected, because you talk about self-sabotage, but at the same time there's boundaries when you keep, taking stuff, or maybe people pleasing, or maybe for the relationships is, past experiences, traumas. It's like it's just all it's like a globe with many different pieces that go into self-sabotage, really. It depends.
Yeah, and I think each one of those aspects, or each one of those jigsaw pieces, we could examine and take a closer look at some stage.
Mm.
So I think that your question is, what's the difference between procrastination and self-sabotage? I think, procrastination is one of those jigsaw pieces.
Mm.
I think one of the things that I do, I am prone to do, is I procrastinate because there are lots of things. Now, this is my self-sabotaging. There's so many things that I want to be doing, so many things I'm interested in, and I kind of skip from one to the other, and then nothing ever gets finished.
Mm.
Now, that's not true all the time because, I know that I have finished books and, I've published books and I deliver lessons and whatever else. So to say I always do it is a lie, but I can see the tendency there, and I'm often very aware of that.
Yeah.
So the question is, though, why do people procrastinate? Why does the student wait until midnight before they do the homework for the next day? Now, why did I put off doing my tax returns when I had to do them back in the UK until a few days before they had to be handed in, before I got a fine for not handing in my tax returns on time? Why do we do that?
Good question. I don't know the answer. We should ask the student, or we should ask Gary. Why do you do that? Some people work better with deadlines, They just, I don't know, resonate more with deadlines and feeling, okay, I have to do that. There's no other way out. So I'm gonna go and do it.
And if that works for them, if the rest of their life is fantastic, and that's how they work best, fantastic. That's not a problem. It's only a problem when it's a problem. So yeah, I mean, it's all very well looking on from the outside at somebody else's life and going, "Oh, that's a problematic behavior." Well, it's not, unless it's a problematic behavior for the person, unless it's having undesired consequences.
Yeah, exactly. If it works for them, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
So why is procrastination a problem then? Why might it be problematic? Well, it could be a problem because nothing ever gets done. It could be put off and put off and put off, and then the project isn't finished. Could be too late. It could be affecting other people. I could be procrastinating with a job, and other people are waiting on me to put in my input.
Mm.
And then it has this knock-on effect. So I'm aware that there are some people who just get piles and piles of mail, and they think, I'll do that later, and they put it onto one side, and they go and do something else, and they look at the pile and go, tomorrow. Then tomorrow comes, and another lot of mail comes in, and they put it on the table, and the pile gets higher and higher and higher. Mm. Now, I think that there are all sorts of reasons why they may do that. So I've just been reminded of a joke. The guy gets a phone call from the electricity board, and they said that you haven't paid your bill. You need to pay your bill, or we'll cut you off. We'll cut off your electricity. The guy said, look, if you start threatening me, there will be consequences. Because what I do every month is I put all my bills into a jar, and I draw one out, and whichever one I draw out gets paid. I won't put your bill into the jar next time. But it could be that they feel overwhelmed by the amount of work. It could be that they are scared of looking at finances, and that worries them. And so if you don't look at your finances, then there's nothing to worry about, is there? You can go and do another job that you can easily do. It could be that there are difficult decisions to make, but by not making those decisions, you've eased the anxiety within you. You talked about this physical reaction that you were getting towards something, and sometimes that physical reaction is so intense that it gets relieved by doing something else, by not thinking of the thing that has to be done. And so it makes perfect sense for us to avoid feeling bad. Why would we, in our right minds, feel bad about something? Why would we put ourselves through that? So we don't. We just avoid dealing with whatever it is we're avoiding dealing with, because it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. It could be also, I'm not doing the thing that I need to do right now, so I'm doing something else to avoid. And at the same time, it's even though maybe subconscious, but it's a quick win because I'm doing something else. I'm not facing that. And I don't know, maybe I go and eat a piece of cake, or maybe I just watch some TV. It's sort of like a release from thinking or thinking of doing that action.
Now, I love what you're saying. It's a quick win. It's a quick feel good. So the thing that you're putting off may require a lot of effort over a long period of time. Well, where is the feel good in doing that? As opposed to go and watch your favorite TV show, just go and relax, have a laugh. Isn't life about having a laugh? Oh, yeah, there you go.
Especially if you think in the back of your mind, okay, then, to get there, I need to do this, 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 this. I need to put in so much effort. It's going to take time. And at the end of it, I don't even have the certainty that I will succeed, or I will look stupid if I don't succeed, or I will feel even more of a failure if I don't, achieve what I want to achieve. And so you just stop yourself from the beginning and you don't risk to go there.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you just said, I think what you just said is actually identifying another cause for procrastination. Is that this fear of failure. Is that we've been brought up to believe, many of us have been brought up to believe that failure is a bad thing. So if we don't complete it, how can anybody say we failed? We don't hand in the homework, you haven't failed it. Hey, the world is good. and I don't have to look at myself. There's nothing for me to correct because I haven't done anything.
There was a time when I realized, okay, I know why, at the beginning, like, I never owned a business. I didn't know anything about it, and so many things that I didn't know about. I thought I didn't have the right, personality, or I wasn't born in the right family or whatever. And I thought, yeah, I'm blocking myself, because at the end of it, if let's say I try my best, and I take courses, I study, and then I practice, and then, but I still feel I don't have this guarantee that all this work will bring me somewhere. And it was like, yeah, really, what I'm scared of is what I'm gonna think about myself if that doesn't happen. I mean, I will feel even more of a failure. And it's like, you know, can I cope with that? So luckily then, I got through it, and I worked through it, and whatever. So yeah, but it could be many things when you're not, born with this growth mindset, or the willingness to take some risks. You're not used to it, right? You just, it's a strange thing to you. And so you need to work through that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was at our primary elementary campus today. There are two campuses that I work on, the upper elementary and secondary school, and the lower campus. And I took a photograph of
Mhm.
something. I'm just going to check out my phone now. I'm going to read you what it says. When you enter this room, every person is valued. Lifelong learning happens. Collaboration is expected. Obstacles are overcome. Mistakes are celebrated. Each opinion
Ah,
is respected. And I just
I
loved that.
Hey everyone, before we get back to our chat, I wanted to give you a quick shout out to where you can find us, as well as more resources and articles. You can find out more about Gary at www.thinkwellnow.net, and you can find me on LinkedIn under my name, Anna Amoroso. We will include all the links in the video description below. Please consider liking and subscribing to this channel to help us in reaching more people who might value this type of content, and click the bell to get news of our latest podcast. We really appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah, beautiful.
That would never have been posted in my school.
No.
I just
Yeah, I know.
mistakes are celebrated.
Yeah.
I bet that some people listening are going, what on earth are you talking about? So the thing with mistakes is it means you've done something. You've produced something. You've tried. You've put some effort in, and it's there. And if you made a mistake, guess what? You can learn from it.
Yeah.
If you have anything, what is it to learn? You've played it safe. You've kept yourself within yourself. You haven't shown anything to the world or even to yourself. And for me, that's really sad.
Yeah. Failures are really, you should almost be happy that you're failing, because through failure, they're just lessons and learnings about yourself, about what you're doing. So, yeah, it would be good to take them as, oh, yeah, I'm failing. I've done some mistakes. It means I'm learning. It's the right way. I'm learning.
Thomas Edison, the guy who invented the light bulb,
Mm.
guy.
Good guy.
that bloke down the road who just happened to invent the light bulb. So I don't think it's an apocryphal story. I think he said that he tried, I was at 1,000 or 10,000 times before he got the right, just the right elements for the light bulb to work. Let me just check it. But each time he got it wrong, he was one step closer to getting it right.
Yeah.
I think we forget that. And so let's take this back to procrastination. Procrastination is a fear of maybe looking foolish. Because often when we were kids, we were made to look stupid or feel stupid about having got something wrong. And even now you hear adults do this to one another. Somebody will say something and I will say, oh, I didn't know that. And they go, what, you didn't know that? No, it's okay for me not to know, but now I know. Thank you very much. I've learned something. So the question is, now we've talked about what procrastination may feel like and what it looks like and why it may happen. What can we do about it?
What can we do about it? I think the first step is awareness, as always. Because if you don't stop and try and, analyze maybe the reasons, or, by you stopping yourself, what are you thinking? What are you feeling? If you just keep, for example, avoiding stuff but you don't do anything about it, then that is going to carry on. So somehow you have to start somewhere, and maybe the easiest thing to do is maybe journal about it.
So when I hear you say awareness, this is something that I tell my clients, is that when they say I procrastinate, I say, isn't it fantastic you've noticed?
Yeah.
Because people often procrastinate, they don't know that's what they're doing. Or sometimes I will just say to them, okay, so when you go away, just notice the times when you do that. What are you feeling? What are the thoughts going on in your head? You don't have to do anything else, just notice. And like you say, that's the awareness.
Yeah, take stock of those moments during your days. Maybe what triggered that behavior, because there must be something there. It's a thought, feeling, something. Yeah, you're thinking about yourself or what you need to do. Oh, okay, now I understand why I'm doing it. I can start. What can I do differently? What's in my power to do something differently, and just start with tiniest step.
I'm going to come back to that in a moment about the tiny steps. I think that's really important. One of the step for me, one of the things I do before that is check with the client why is it important? What's the problem with the procrastination? What's it stopping them doing? What would they like to do if they could achieve what it is they've been procrastinating about? What is it going to give them? What will life be like? And to paint a picture, and to make that as clear as possible. This links back to what you were saying earlier, because we could go and watch the television or play a game or whatever it is, go on YouTube, and that gives us a quick hit. It makes us feel good. What we forget is actually whatever that job is that we've put off, at the end of that, once we've accomplished it, we are going to get a massive hit. We're going to feel so good about it. And there will be all sorts of wonderful consequences. But we forget about that. All we do is we're concentrating on the drudgery. So I think for me and for my clients is that saying, when you finish this, what's that going to be like for you? because if you haven't got, if there's not a reason, not a really good reason for aiming for something, then don't do it. Why would you bother? And positive psychology says just going through motions, hitting certain targets isn't good enough. But creating a picture in our head actually makes it real. And by making it real, it gives us a motivation to do it. So we're creating our own internal motivation rather than somebody out on the outside wagging their finger or telling ourselves, you should do it, you must do it, you ought to do it. You're bad if you don't. That's not good motivation.
No, absolutely not.
So I want to come back to what you were just saying then about once you've done that, let's have a scenario. Let's say that somebody has got a whole desk full of papers that they have to work through. There's bills there, there's filing to be done, there's some work that needs to be doing, there's emails that need to be answered. Where do you start? What would you tell your clients? Or what would you get your clients to do for them?
Well, first, as you say, I would obviously ask questions, try to understand, what happens, what's the positive result that you get from having, all those files on your desk and all the tasks you need to do. What's that giving you? And it will say da 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 da. Okay. And what would you like instead? And you will be fine. Okay, I would like this. And from there, and you say, okay, so what needs to happen to get you from here to there? What is the first step?
So what could the first step be for your client with a desk full of work?
Well, the thing is, I'm not the expert. He's going to find the solution for himself. I can't say, oh, look, I can suggest, yeah, do this, da, da, da. But it's up to him to find the...
So what could the first step be?
Okay, what can I do tomorrow to start clearing my desk? What's the first action I need to take? Okay, I need to start from looking at the papers, putting them in order, alphabetical order, or whatever. Write it down, schedule it in, and start acting on that.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think getting so let's say somebody's watching us now, then our clients. So what they could do is write down every step they need to take. Break it right down. So where's the desk? Okay, is there room on your desk to work? If not, do you need to clear a space? Okay, so the first step could be clear a space. Second step could be pick up the first piece of paper on top of the pile. Or open the first envelope. Can you go to open the first envelope? Can you take the paper out, read it? What are you going to do? So I would say, even breaking it down into minute steps. And if you can do one step and then walk away, you've done one step. If you've cleared the desk, if you've cleared a space on your desk there wasn't a space before, congratulate yourself. And if then you can walk away and go, I started it. That clearing the space is one more step than you did the day before, or maybe even the day before that, or even for the last week. And for them to be able to set your own time limit. So if you think you can do this for 10 minutes without feeling overwhelmed, just do it for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, stop. Go and watch YouTube. Go and watch your favorite TV program, or go and make some cakes or whatever it is. Go out for a smoke if that's what your thing is, But break it into manageable chunks, because when you've procrastinated, it seems so big. The task is, oh, it does feel overwhelming. And you described the physical feelings, but if you can say, I can do this for 5 minutes, do it for 5 minutes. If you're going to say, I'm going to open 3 envelopes today, and you've got 100 on your desk, well, great, do 3. It's 3 more than you did. Will you be able to, do you need to create some files? Okay, so if you need to create some files, go and buy your filing. Go and buy some folders.
All
You
right.
bought some folders. Fantastic, you've got some folders now. Now you can start to put the papers in order. You write what each file is for on top of the folder. So it just becomes very, very manageable. And the smaller the chunks they can break it down into, the better it is. I've got some ironing in my living room, and it's piled up over the last week. And so what I've told myself is I'm going to do, and there's no way I'm going to do all that ironing today, but I'm going to do 30 minutes. And after the 30 minutes, I may have done 6 pieces of clothing. Great. 6 pieces more than we've done yesterday. And I'm going to be happy with that. And I'm not going to do any more than 30 minutes because the way we can deal with procrastination is by making the task less onerous. Sometimes what I ask my clients to do is tell me where they, on a scale of 1 to 10, how well they're getting on with something. And so if they say it's a 4 out of 10. And so my next question, and one of my clients said, oh yeah, so what will it take to get from 4 to 10? I said, no, not what will it get from, what will it take you to get from 4 to 4.5 or 5? And they went, oh, because the movement from 4 to 10 was just too much to even think about.
Yeah.
Our brains can't do it. Our brains want to just opt out as quickly as they can because it takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of energy.
Yeah. And that's what happens to many of us when maybe we want to start a diet or we want to start exercising. We think we just need to go all in, and from 0 you go 3 times a week to the gym, or you cut off straight away everything from your diet that is not good or whatever. And when you do that, you last not very long. Because people don't understand, well, we don't understand, it's more about the little 1% consistently than a whole lot together, for a short time.
A few years ago, I decided I was going to start running, and I wanted to run 10K. And the thought of running 10K, again, just felt like too much. And I couldn't even picture myself doing it. And I downloaded this app. It's called Couch to 10K. And so it's for somebody who just sits on a couch and watches TV, to running 10K. And what it did was, it started off with 5 minutes of walking and jogging. So you'd walk for a minute and you'd jog for 30 seconds, and then you'd stop and you'd walk for another minute or a minute and a half, and then jog for another 30 seconds. Oh, whoa, this is easy. And I did, and slowly built up. So I was running for 2 minutes and resting for 3 minutes. And it worked wonderfully. And it's exactly the same principle. It's just building you up so you can achieve something. And then once you see you've achieved it, you can build on it. And I did my 10K.
Absolutely. Yay! Yeah, the same happened to me actually with weights, because I do some weights at home, and I started with only 10 minutes, one like on alternate, you say alternate days, right?
Every other day.
Yeah, every other day. So I started that just for 10 minutes because I couldn't do anymore. It was so tiring. And it still is. And in a year, I lost 10 kilograms. So 10 minutes. And people think, oh, women or whatever, you need to do 3 hours of work a week and, run like crazy. And it's not always true, actually. Yeah. So it was really good. It was sustainable for me. 'Cause I'm not a very sporty person. I don't like it, but I know I need to do it. So that was a very good solution I found for myself. Because I tried other things before and I kept weight off for other years, but then I always went back to not doing anything anymore. And that's when I regained all the weight. So yeah.
I'm trying to think of the author's name, possibly James Clear, and he wrote. I'll put it on the screen about habits because the name's gone out of my head right now. And he talked about linking one habit to another habit. It's kind of linked to procrastination. So if you, for example, want to do press-ups, you reminded me about this with your exercising, you could link it to going to the toilet. So every time you go to the toilet, you also do one press-up. Nothing more, just one press-up. He said, and if you go to the toilet 6 times in a day, you've done 6 press-ups. And then you think, I don't can do a press-up. I can do one press-up. And then maybe in a week's time, you go, okay, I've done one press-up. I can do 2. So then you've done 16 in a day. And then you kind of just building up that way. And again, it's that breaking that idea that it's too much. Breaking it down into small, easily achievable steps.
Yeah, that works very well for people who feel, overwhelmed by just thinking about what they need to do.
We're nearly up with our time, I think, Anna. But there's one more thing I want to say, and it's about congratulating ourselves, about rewarding ourselves. And I found this really difficult because I came from a culture where you didn't congratulate yourself because everything was just expected. And I had to force myself to recognize that what I was doing was worthwhile. That I had done something that other people perhaps hadn't done, or that I hadn't done before, and therefore it was worth congratulating myself on. And it's a little bit like Pavlov's dogs, is that a reward helps a behavior to continue. And so if I pat myself on the back for doing something, I am more likely then to continue doing that, because our brain is going, yeah, you did okay. That was good, wasn't it? Wasn't that a nice feeling? And so we're feeding that feeling, and so instead of we're looking for external rewards from other people congratulating ourselves, we can feed internally, and this has all sorts of phenomenal effects about our self-esteem and our self-worth. It's no longer reliant on my mum, my dad, my boss, my wife, my partner, whatever. It's all internally. And in spite of my pulling faces at the person who was coaching me, it worked, and it does increase my own motivation for doing things. And being, I'm going to say, self-satisfied, satisfied about myself, not smug. I don't think hopefully I'm never smug, but I was satisfied. I do feel satisfied about things I achieve.
I agree 100%. If you look at, what you've done good, even if it's the smallest thing, I've done my bed today. Well, I've done something more than yesterday. And, just a word of acknowledgement, well done. Instead of thinking, oh my God, but yeah, I've just done my bed. That doesn't mean anything in the world. But if you start from the very little things, that builds up, that self-esteem and that positive way of looking at yourself and your progress and the person you are. Yeah, it's absolutely essential. Even if it's just a smile to yourself or like a pat. It doesn't need to be much, but
No.
A small recognition of what you're doing or what you've done. Instead of thinking, oh, but I still have all that way to go. But think, okay, but I've done a little step more than yesterday, so well done. Before I wasn't doing it. Very important, celebrating. Because
maybe we can talk about that again another time a bit more. Just a word of warning that if you are dieting and you want to congratulate yourself, don't congratulate yourself with a donut.
Yeah. Obviously.
I'm going. I think it's really quite funny. Except some people do that, and it gives our brain the wrong information. But we'll talk about that another time. So before we finish, is there anything that you want to finish on? Is there any last word that you want to say?
There's nothing wrong with people who procrastinate. There's no need to feel guilty or shameful.
Anna, thank you so much.
Thank you, Gary. Alrighty.
We got there in the end.
Yeah.
Put up, I got 5 wishes on a Friday. I know y'all different, y'all popping bottles in broad day. So much cameras, I gotta move in a small way. Popping, I'm facing the diamonds on me, it's so